I don't know if that's a real player, because there's another real player around here that has a camp. But so far they haven't bothered me. They've been nice. So whenever I hear horse hooves, I have to be vigilant. Yep, that's a real player. So, hey, get yourself a beer, sit down by the fire. I'm talking about stupid shit songs that I hear at work all the time that I don't want to listen to anymore, you know? And then you ask the boss, hey, could you please change the music? And then the boss says, yeah, that's controlled by corporate. And then you say, okay, well then, boss, call corporate and tell them that we are tired of hearing the same music in a loop over and over every day, every week, every month. It's starting to trigger us. We're starting to get stressed out. Change the fucking music because when we go home at night and we try to sleep, we can actually hear the music in our head. That kind of shit. Because I have a YouTube channel and that's what I'm talking about right now. And right now you just stumbled upon that video. So you should feel honored. So have yourself a beer, wash your face, sit by the firecraft, I don't care. Hey, nice waving at you too, bro. B-R-O or brother. You too, brother. Alright, so I have actually quit a job because of they wouldn't change the music. I used to work at a furniture store. It was a fun job, by the way, let me tell you, because you didn't have to actually deal directly with the customer unless you had to take furniture or whatever to their vehicle, or some old lady, it's raining outside, she just bought a lamp that she saw on the floor and she wants you to wrap it up real nice and take it to her car for her, that kind of. Then they tip you. They'll tip you in the parking lot. So it was a good job. So anyway, I loved that job, but they would play the same music over and over and over every day on a loop because it was all controlled by corporate through some fancy like radio station and then the commercials, they would have actual commercials, and the commercials were the same. So it got to the point where I could actually memorize the commercials. And then I would go home and those commercials would play in my head. And they were like progressive commercials for car insurance, stupid stuff like that. And then they would have their stupid jingles, and then their jingles would get stuck in my head. That's the kind of shit. Am I boring you? Am I rambling? I might be rambling. So yeah, I quit that job. I just clocked out, texted the boss that I quit. Her name was Shannon. She was devastated. I think I made her cry. It wasn't even her fault. But I did plead with her, and I plead with her boss. Hey, tell corporate that you can't be playing that same music over and over again. I can't concentrate. And I worked in the stock room, where they keep the furniture. And in there it was even louder because the stock room is smaller than the actual sales floor, so the walls are closer, so the sound would bounce. It was actually louder, and they had it turned up to like 8. The volume was really loud. I said, hey, could you at least turn it down? And then you might be wondering, why do I have music in a stock room? I'll ask you the same. I agree. The customers need to hear it, not me. But the thing was when they needed me to go up front to take a big fucking couch to someone's truck, because I'm capable of doing that, they would use the same feed that plays the music to page me and say, hey, Jeff, we need you up front. You got to take this shit out to someone's vehicle and put it in their fucking truck, if they have one. Some people would actually buy big fucking couches and they had like a Mustang. And then the customer had the gall to actually make me go outside to see if it would fit. Yeah, that happened all the time. But they would tip you anyway. They would tip you back. You get a $10, $20 tip, $5 tip. It pays the bills. It adds up. It was nice. It was a good job, but I quit because they wouldn't change the music, or at least turn down the volume. So here I am trying to read, every piece of furniture comes with instructions. You always look at the instructions, even if you think you can just build it without looking at it. A lot of people skip the instructions, but I don't. And I'm trying to concentrate, and I'm looking at the instructions, and I can't do it. I can't listen to this fucking music and commercials from Progressive Car Insurance and actually build a chair or a table or couches too. We would put the legs on the couches, because they don't come shipped like that. You actually have to nail them in or drill them in, depending on how it is. Sometimes nails were the best. Drilling them in never worked that well because the drilling equipment usually just wasn't that good at work. But Yeah. I drove home in a thunderstorm, pouring rain, and the highway had 3-inch thick water, even though there was a lot of traffic. That's how much rain it was that night, and I felt like I was escaping a cult. That's what it felt like. Some sort of mysterious, creepy. Hey, thanks for being in my video. Take care. Yeah. So that's what it was like. Working and having music play in the background. Trying to concentrate at work. And saying, hey, I was a valued stock person, one of the best of the best. And I say that with confidence. I was the alpha stock guy, if that makes any sense. The alpha stock person. I never made mistakes. I never brought the wrong merchandise to the customer. If a customer had to have a delivery set up, you know, the delivery guy, he comes to the stockroom and he says, yeah, I got to deliver this to such and such's house because they bought it at the store and now they need it delivered to their house. So it was the responsibility of the stock guy to put aside the merchandise to be delivered. A lot of stock guys would make mistakes because they would look at the product and they would miss it by just one number, because every product has a number on it that makes it part of the inventory.
That's fine. Just don't forget to make time for our business too.
Crips, I'm sick and tired of hearing you whine about stuff and saying the same jokes over and over. I can't talk and think at the same time. I just can't do it. And when somebody starts to interrupt me and talk over me, that's the biggest pet peeve of mine. When I'm trying to make a point, anybody for that matter doesn't like this. When somebody talks over another person, wow. When somebody talks over another person, that's what I feel like. I've had bosses like that. I have had bosses like that. If you have a boss that talks over you, you need to find another job. If you have a music place, not a place of business that you work at, and the music is starting to affect you, and you go and plead with the boss and then go to the boss's boss, go over their head, which is what I did, and ask that the music be changed or turned down, and they say that's controlled by corporate, and that's their answer, and they do nothing about it, you need to find another job. Yep. Let me tell you some more stories about work. Make this video even longer so it'll get less views. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm a big dude. I'm 6'4", 6'5" in a brand new pair of shoes. Had a boss that wanted me to help him. This was at a movie theater. Let me tell you the movie theaters. Or should I make that a separate video? Yeah, I'll make that a separate video. I'm going to tell you about how it was when I worked at a movie theater about 4 years ago in this part 2, so stay tuned.